certain problems which are found, interesting problems found in Bakshali manuscript. This Bakshali manuscript is a very interesting history, so I will narrate that history initially and then we will get into the contents of it. So as far as this talk is concerned, I had some 2-3 fold ideas in my mind which I wanted to convey. One is, of course, to give an exposure to what Bakshali manuscript contents are. And then, incidentally, I also wanted to touch upon taking a specific problem which has been discussed in Bakshali manuscript, and then, so trying to understand the kind of difficulties which are involved in understanding the content of the text. So that I just wanted to do, taking one thing in great detail. And then incidentally, so I will also touch upon the kind of biases which have been there in trying to interpret these texts. So this will be the broad outline of what I wanted to cover today. So the discovery of Bakshali manuscript happened in 1881. So happened in 1881, and the name Bakshali has nothing to do with the content or the author, but it has to do with the place in which the manuscript was discovered. And it is said it is close to Peshawar, so about 80 kilometers. And then regarding the date of manuscript, different views which have been expressed by different authors. We will quickly see them. And the content, of course, I will briefly describe. I will take 1 or 2 specific problems and discuss that in great detail. So this is what I mentioned. So problem in deciphering, so that I will discuss a specific problem which has been dealt with by a few people, and almost everybody discusses that in great detail, and I specifically wanted to discuss the analysis which has been done by Channa Basappa. So this has to do with the technique for finding the square root. So as described in Bakshali manuscript. So the square root formula, so K is misinterpretation, so Datta Sutton, and then Channa Basappa's interpretation, possible derivation which has been presented, and there are another interesting problems which are there, and the lessons that we can learn from this. As I mentioned, this was discovered purely by a stroke of luck. So apparently a farmer has been doing excavation, and he found certain manuscript as he was digging. So they are made up of rich bark, and this is about 70 folios are available. So what fraction is available and what has been lost, so there is absolutely no idea. And the interesting account has been given as to how the farmer handed over to someone and then it went to somebody else, it went to somebody else. Currently it is in the Bodleian Library in London. Oxford, sorry. Oxford. Yeah. So it is, of course there are a couple of publications earlier, and this K has done in 1922. So in 1995, IIT has done detailed analysis and it has been brought up. So this is how it has been narrated. An inspector of police, so whose tenant actually discovered the manuscript by digging a stone and wrote that in the place, took the work to the assistant commissioner at Mardan, who intended to forward the manuscript to Lahore Museum. However, it was subsequently sent to the governor of Punjab, who, on the advice of Cunningham, directed it to be passed on to Cornell. You read Cornell or Hornley? Hornley. So Hornley presented the description of this manuscript before Eclectic Society in 1882, and this was published in Indian Antiquary in 1883. He gave a fuller account of the 7th Oriental Conference held in Vienna, and this was published in the proceedings. A revised version of this paper appeared in 1888. In 1902, he presented the manuscript to Bodleian Library, Oxford, where it is. So regarding the date of the manuscript, so there have been different views. So K tries to place in 12th century, and Datta and others, based on this analysis, so they place it somewhere between 200 and 400 CE. Hayashi says it has to be certainly before this, and it could be around this period. And all of them base their arguments on the script found, the content which is there, mathematical content, and so on and so forth. But there has been wide variation, and so we will see. So this Basappa gives certain interesting arguments as we proceed further in the lecture. So he is on the view that this could be the around 200, 300 CE could be the period, and it has to be pre-Aryabhata is the kind of argument that has been presented by Basappa based on the analysis that he does. So in fact, there are 2-3 articles which he has written. I will be dealing with one of them in great detail, so which discusses the square root algorithm. The other article, he basically tries to present how good this algorithm is computationally. And the third article has to do with the kind of words which are present in the Vaksali manuscript, which is not to be found in the later literature, and therefore this should be so earlier. So this is the kind of argument which has been presented. So as regards the language, so with Sanskrit background one will be able to fairly follow that, but there are certain places which are really difficult, which is different from Sanskrit. So they say it is Gatha, so it is a sort of mixture of Prakrit and Sanskrit.
It will be called in a version of Apabramisha?
Yeah, it looks like. But see, some of the verses as I see, only 1 or 2 characters, I mean otherwise when I saw that, so it is readable and it is a Sanskrit background, so we will be able to follow.
There is more Sanskrit.
More Sanskrit, that's what I am trying to say. More Sanskrit. So it's not like any of these Prakrit, it is difficult almost to decipher. But with Sanskrit background, one will be able to sort of follow. And the script happens to be Sharada script, which was prevalent around that time. And so this is the view which has been held by scholars, that K is generally prejudiced and distorted in presenting, unlike certain other scholars. Yeah. So the Martin Levy, pardon?
Those scholars who hold those opinions may themselves be prejudiced. Prejudice is a word you apply to the views of others which you don't agree.
Certain things to become true evidence, certain things can be, if one is, anyway. So this is the kind of photograph which I of course downloaded from the web. So this is all sort of, it is all damaged, deteriorated condition. So, but one thing which I would like to note is, see this kind of lines, so which are found actually are boxes wherein you find some symbols and numbers. So this is one of the important aspects which one does not find in many other works. So the Vaksali manuscript, so is a very strong evidence. So to show that people have been employing certain symbols and notations abbreviations for certain operations. So that is one of the interesting things. I will have a more detailed example on this little later. So this is interspersed with this. So these boxes will carry some numbers, sometimes some signs. Yeah, this is more clear reduction of the same thing. So when we have sort of numbers like this,
This is a edited version. Not a
no, there are different ways from which one can extract. So this I have seen. So even if it is terribly bad, so now we have
noise factor is removed, so it's edited.
no. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I mean cleaner. So a cleaner by artificial cleaning process. That's what I mean.
But the boxes are original, right?
Yeah, yeah. So they maintain this pattern and see these letters which are not, some of them which are not sort of visible, so they can make it more dark, so all that can be done. So there are packages which are available.
No, not only the boxes, that symbol there in between is a funny design which denotes something. No, this
flower.
little line, right side,
Flower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also something original. It's found in many photos.
Pushpika.
I think denotes something about end of paragraph or something.
That I don't know. I have no
No,
idea.
I also but it stands for something. It occurs quite often.
Yeah. So this is something which is very peculiar, and this kind of markers are also something which one does not find in many manuscripts. So for instance, in some of these Kerala, Malayalam will be almost continuous. Sanskrit will be almost continuous without any markers. So it's very difficult. So this is yeah.
No, you don't compare it with manuscripts of that age.
No, I'm saying no.
1,200 years
Even
later.
1,000 years, 1,000. The point I am trying to convey is even after 1,500 years. So we find certain things, the way they are written, so are not segregated the way we find. That is the point I wanted to convey. So it is almost like Dandakara, you can see that. So where we will not find markers which break the chapters, which break the sections and all that. So that will not be, let alone this table. So the vertical and the horizontal lines will segregate numerals and symbols. And, so here, so when two numbers are written one below the other, so it means so one is divided by the other. So the horizontal bar is not there. That you will see from example. Yeah. So as I was mentioning, so about 8 to 10 lines. This is somewhat. This is somewhat, I would say. So there are. See, one can. Of course, it has been blown up. I do not have a very clear idea as to what the size is, but I can certainly tell of certain family manuscripts where they give you hardly 2 inches and you will find 8 lines, 8 to 10 lines sometimes. Very tightly written.
No, it's not family. It's
No, I'm not talking about this. I'm saying this I don't have an idea. But even palm leaf manuscripts which we have today, so they are very tightly written. So one overlapping with the other. So this seems to be somewhat relaxed is what I'm saying. So see, even this line gap you may not find in some of these manuscripts. I'll show a little later. So some of them. So this so this deciphering so becomes extremely difficult, but here it seems to be somewhat more user friendly compared to other things. And as far as Pakshali thing is concerned, this is the only copy that is available. So there are no other things. For certain other important works,
even that is not really available. It's something that's the original is no longer accessible, readable. The folios have got
stuck, is it?
Yeah.
I never expected this. I don't know.
We have some microfilms in.
Yeah. There's Kashmiri things.
But usually those things even in 1830, I mean,
No,
they are fairly well preserved.
Unlike palm leaf, birch bark is much more fragile.
Yeah, fragile,
And
but
they try to do some processing to Same it
Yeah.
actually
made it more deteriorated.
no, they didn't deteriorate, but they got stuck.
Hmm.
Separate.
Hmm. Yeah. So, and this is completely disordered, and it's very difficult to know the way things have been dealt with in this whole manuscript. That we don't have an idea. So, authorship, of course, we do not know, and this is something which people have found, the information that is available towards the end, where Brahmana identified as Sadhaka, the king of calculators, that is how it has been translated, that word, so I do not know really the origin of the word. But
The calculator is what?
that's what I don't know.
No, who has said it is king of calculator?
Pardon?
Who translated this king of
So
calculator?
this is something which I found in Prof's book. So he has put that. I should maybe Datta himself has said that I am not very sure. So this is what is written. Sadhaka is what is. Okay. So this is the formula on which I wanted to spend some time. So for extracting square root of a non-square number q, so this formula has been given in a particular work in Bakshali manuscript. So a is the nearest square, and you add the factor, this non-square factor. So the first approximation can be simply thought of to be, or zeroth order approximation can be thought of to be a. So the next order is a plus b by a, 2a, and then this Bakshali gives this. So this part alone, if you consider, so a plus b by 2a, that is called as Heron's formula. So Bakshali formula for extracting square root, so can be thought of to be having an additional factor over and above what has been given by Heron. So how did the author of Bakshali manuscript arrive at this formula? So one way we will discuss as we proceed towards the end.
It seems obvious. I don't know why people.
Now there are 2-3 different things which have been stated. Yeah. Yeah. So K, so this is the verse. Akrate slipta kutyunat eshat chedo visantunah tad vargadala samslipta kriti suddhi kriti sukhayah. So there is a very interesting discussion which has been presented on this, and I wanted to share that with you completely. Before we proceed further, I would like you to take note of these words. Slishta krityuna sheshat chedaha. Yeah. In fact, that is what I wanted to point out right away. Before proceeding further, so it is not exactly same as that. So
But this
This
case
is-
version and
this is case version, and this has been refined by people, Krityunat, and this revised version, this verse actually is found in 2-3 places. So in one place, the reading is simply Krityunat. In another place, it is Krityunat. So here, this feminine Krityuna, so Krityuna does not go with any of the later part of the verse. So this first refinement that we need to have is Krityunat. So that is the first thing that I want to do.
This the is added editorially or it is there in
It is there in the manuscript itself, in another place.
Oh, in another.
Yeah, that's what I have written here.
The is not visible.
So in yet another place in the Bakshali manuscript, it is found correctly. So the No, no.
One place it is there without a...
Correct. Pratyuna is there. In another place it is Pratyuna is there. This is better. And see, this is quite possible that in fact the verse, the meaning sort of fits only when we take Pratyuna, and therefore we have to go by that. Is one argument. The other is it is found correctly elsewhere, therefore we have to go. And obviously when somebody says and somebody writes, Pratyuna ka would have been dropped.
Now, is it possible that it has faded?
No, it is not like that. Yeah. Okay. So, so K, so provides a translation of this sutra in this form. Mixed third is present by the square portion, and the difference divided by twice that. The difference is divided by the quantity, and the half that squared is the log. It is too difficult to understand what he wants to convey, but I can tell you essentially this is what he gives. So he says that this sutra gives the formula A plus B by 2A. So this is what he states, he concludes. So in fact, Datta, having analyzed, he says it is wrong and completely meaningless, and in no way leads to this formula. This is what Datta has said.
No, why do you say unscrupulous and next of understood is the possibility?
I'll tell you. No, I'll tell you. It is not because of that. It is unscrupulous because the example, Bakshali manuscript, one special thing about Bakshali manuscript is the rule is given, immediately some numerical example is given. The numerical example which has been provided for root 41 just below the rule is just identical to this. So that
I think it involves doing the same thing twice.
no, what it involves is different.
Can be
No. What it involves is different. But saying that this is all the rule is different. What I am saying
you
is,
can have the rule and apply it twice. You might still state the rule only once.
no.
In fact, I think in some cases it even does the third time.
No. See, this can be extended is a different thing. But this can be extended by different ways is a different thing. But when a certain numerical example is given and saying that this is what the formula is, in fact, when we read the verse, so the words do not definitely lead to the simplistic formula. So that's what I am going to just slowly take through. I thought about it and then only I said this rather unscrupulously. So this is something which has been thought out and then said. So okay. So now I will go to the board and I want to do something. Then we will return back. The word kriti generally is known in the sense of something which has been composed. Kriti is sort of work. Tasya kriti means his work. Okay? So this is how the normal meaning of kriti goes. So the root is of course krit, and in mathematical texts, so this word kriti is used in the sense of square. So vargaha kritihi. So this is used. So here what we are trying to find out is the square root of a non-square number. So the first term that we find here is akrite. So it's a bit difficult to get this form also. So from kriti, but right now we just take it that way. There are 2-3 ways in which the verse has been analyzed. So that's why I wanted to start with that. So akrite, slishta krityunat, शेषच्छेदः द्विसङ्गुणः. So we can just take it to be this way. Slishta Krityumna. So let this Akrita number be Q, so whose square root we want to find out. The word Slishta in Sanskrit is something which is close by, associated with. So that is the kind of meaning that one gets for Slishta. So Slishta Kriti can be taken to be the square of some number which is close to this Akrita number. Okay? So suppose we take this Q to be written as root of A square plus B. Then Akrite Slishta Krityuna. So you should just take it as Q minus A square. So this is Slishta Kriti. So Una is subtraction. So Akrite Slishta Krityuna. So if you do that, so what we get is basically B. So that can be taken as Shesha. So Akrite Slishta Krityuna Shesha. So we have got up to that. Sheshachhedaha Dvisangunaha. So there is a problem here. So Sheshachheda, Chheda usually means divisor. So Sheshachhedaha when we take. So whatever be the compound, you learn in trouble. Sheshasya Chheda. So our Sheshaha Chhedaha Yasyasaha, whether you take it as Bahuvrihi. Sheshaschadu Chedascha, that also does not work. So here, what we need is, if we keep the formula in mind, so B by 2A, so whatever form it is, so this is the kind of thing that we need to get here. So when we take this Shesha to be B, Shesha Chheda, so we land into trouble here. So Sheshachhedaha Dvisangunaha means multiplied by 2. So Sheshachhedo Dvisangunaha, when we say, so if we take Shesha to be B and there is nothing which actually tells us that A can be taken as Chheda. If A can be taken as Chheda, Sheshasya Chhedaha Dvisangunaha B by 2A is what we can get. But that is not possible. So this is Slishta number whose Kriti has been subtracted. So there is a certain problem in understanding the word Sheshachhedaha. Sheshachhedo Dvisangunaha. Then before doing this, B by 2A square, I just write the factor which has been given by A plus B by 2A. This has to be removed from A plus B by 2A. Okay? So this is the formula that has been associated with this verse, and the numerical example in 2-3 places actually explicitly gives taking A, B, etc. and then writes the whole thing. So that's why serious effort has been put in trying to understand the content of this verse and see to it that it gives this result. So here we have a problem. So Sheshachheda, so this factor cannot be simply arrived by